Yeah.
All right. So if I refresh the other one, so I've got UtiniCast Twitch up over here.
Yep. Let's see.
Or is it on utinicast.com? Which is the...
utinicast.com/live. What I'll do is tweet it out via SWOTOR GGC, and then you guys can retweet.
Okay.
Probably
What
makes
chat,
sense.
What chat are we looking at, though? The Twitch one?
Yeah, the Twitch one. Just trying to get the streaming stuff set up. Reset size, center, and...
So, everybody ready? We can just hit the record thing, and then we don't have to worry about that? Or
Yes.
Do you want to wait a sec?
Alright, we're streaming, so whenever you're ready.
Alright, so everybody ready?
Yes.
Do it.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, record. And here we are, folks. How exciting. Alright.
Now what have we forgotten? I will tweet out.
Okay.
Recording, let's see. 10, hosted by the usual podcast. What have we forgotten? Right, just been tweeted via SWOTOR GGC.
Okay.
Retweet that via UtiniCast.
Oh, accidental porn in the feed. Okay, let's
Whoops. Alright. I think everything should be live. Let's check our page, make sure I haven't screwed anything up. That's a beautiful image you put onto the starting page as well.
Oh, that I found that on DeviantArt or something like that. It's really cool. That Jedi with the lightsaber or whatever, or the red lightsaber. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks like she's working.
All right, and I just gonna retweet that.
Twitch. Why does Twitch no longer work in Chrome? That's so weird.
It's working for me.
Yeah. Must have something weird in my Chrome settings.
All right, guys. So, like I said in that email, we're just gonna kind of go from 4 topics. I don't know if anybody had anything else they wanted to add or whatever. I'm up for anything. The way we kind of do it on our show, we just kind of talk about the stuff and then throw. I mean, I'm not gonna read through everything. We've already talked about it all for the most part on our respective shows. So I figured we'll just throw out what we like, what we dislike, what we're worried about. You know, anything they want to chat about. I mean, I guess the hot topic right now is what level
sync. Yeah.
So, where's my? Hold on, I'm just checking one other setting here. Audacity is a little wonky. Hello. Huh.
Something had to go wrong, right?
Well, like I noticed my recording volume is at 0, but I'm seeing this thing, so I don't know what's happening. But that shouldn't matter because it's my mic anyway, right? I mean, I can see all the things, so it seems fine. Just to be safe, I'm gonna put it at half, and we'll call it a day. Okay. Well, I think it's. It would really kind of be interesting if we didn't have my track, wouldn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, that might be a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, everybody's just
A little bit.
responding to nothing. That'd be pretty funny. All right, so I don't know why the setting's like that, but I can definitely see my waves, so I'm going to call it good. All right, boys and girls. You ready? I am ready. So when we do the intros, just when I say on the panel today, everybody just say who you are and where you're from, and that work for everybody?
Sure.
Yep.
Word.
And we got everybody. This is the old one, I think, huh? I'm on the old document. Oh no. Okay, we have everybody. Paige, you there?
What?
Okay, just making sure.
Uh,
All right, guys. Let's get to it. Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Galactic Gamers Coalition. I'm Marshall from the Usual Podcast, and I'll be your host for this month's episode. With me, as always, is my co-host Will. Say hello, buddy.
You got it, dude.
Oh, here we are. All right, so on the panel today, I'll let everybody introduce themselves. So we have a bunch of people. Say hello, guys.
Hello, everyone. This is Seema from the SOTOR Escape podcast.
This is Tio from Utinicast.
Hi, I'm Jessie from Passionately Casual Podcast.
I'm Paige from Beyond the Stars.
and Chuck from the Bad Feeling Podcast. Greetings.
All right, welcome everybody. And I just, I got to say a couple of things before we get rolling into our topics here. I'm super stoked and honored to actually be able to host this thing. I've been on here a couple times, and I've podcasted with a bunch of you guys. And to be honest with you, I've listened to, except for maybe the first few episodes of Utinicast, I think I've listened to every single one of all of your podcasts, and I love what you guys do for the community. So I can't say how happy I am to be hanging out with you guys again. So welcome, and thanks for letting us do this. Thanks for trusting us, I guess I should say.
Let me apologize to you now for our podcast.
I don't know if they're going to
Podcast,
trust you too much after the
I'm
setup.
sorry.
You say the things we all want to say, Chuck.
I'll try not to say them here.
Oh, that's what editing's for, right?
All right.
All right, so this month we're going to focus on the mini dev blogs that are talking about all the changes coming with Fallen Empire, and most of us have covered most of these things on our own shows. So I thought what we do is throw out a few topics, and everybody will just kind of go around the horn, talk about what you're excited about, talk about what you're worried about, anything controversial you've heard in the wider community, and I think that'll be fun, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go with yes.
Yeah.
Sounds
yeah.
good.
All right.
All right, so we're going to start with topic number one is the cartel market changes. And they're really doing a bit of an overhaul with the cartel market. Seema, you want to start? What are you excited about? What are you thinking about? Do you play the market?
I do. In fact, I have almost 0 cartel coins right now. I like the better search and navigation that they're bringing to the cartel market. Anytime they improve that side of things, it's a hit with me. So the more systems in SWTOR that get converted from the eyeball scroll search method for finding things, the better. And I like the idea that we're going to be able to unlock items with the character that bought them. I think that's wonderful. I was always forgetting to unlock things because, when I buy them, at the moment I equip them, that's when I want to click on that. So, yay for intuitiveness.
All right, what do you think, Tio?
Well, I really don't use the cartel market that much, to be honest.
How many cartel coins do you have now, man? I know you don't spend yours.
Somewhere around 18,000.
Wow.
But, I'm saving it for a rainy day. If there's something I really want, I'll buy it. But
Dad, can you buy me some hyper crates? Come on, please. Can I get some hyper crates, please?
I was thinking the same thing.
My opinion on the changes, so the collections interface changes, is pure win. It's just quality of life stuff we all want. Agree with Seema, it's just great. From the other changes they talked about, the grand packs, the whole idea that now they're going to have these within each category, like armor, mounts and stuff, have the bronze, silver, gold packs with everything of those various rarities. Conceptually good, though over time it sounds like there's just going to be the one pack, like one armor bronze pack forever, and as time goes on, it will have just more and more stuff in it. So if you want anything specific, like this one particular one you really want, your chance of actually getting it just goes down over time. I do wonder whether they're going to add different shipment packs to that once. But I kind of like the idea. There's only so much stuff you can direct sell on
Or
the
they
cartel
can-
market, so
They can run out like Netflix and just have a rotating crop that comes in every month.
yeah, something like that.
Well, I'm with you on that. I like buying stuff in the cartel market, and I like when my chances are good. And you're right, if they don't figure something out, the chances will get worse as we go forward.
So I reckon they will evolve it, but overall, it's good. I really like the idea of everything ever that's ever been on the cartel market being available all
I
the
like
time.
that too.
Yeah, that's nice.
I don't know about that. That's one of the things that kind of bugs me.
Why?
Why?
Well, I mean, there's a sort of area of exclusivity, right? In immediacy. Like the idea is, if you do a pack and you've got something that's exclusive to now, you want to get it out in the next month, and it's there. When you put it on there and it can be bought anytime, and it just keeps on going forever, it's like, well, now that sort of immediacy is gone, and that was one of the things that a lot of people with the playing that stuff on the GTN and being able to resell that stuff on the GTN, it sort of removes that aspect of it from that, because now you can get it from the cartel market instead of trying to save up your credits and get it on the GTN instead. So you're kind of removing that GTN aspect out of it, and by having everything available all the time, and you don't have to like wait for it to come around again or till the next whatever happens. So it's that's like the one thing that sort of bugs me about this, but otherwise, like, the rest of it is pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I mean, there's people that have been sitting on things waiting to sell them at the right time, and if everything comes back, excuse me, you're right, the value of that would definitely
I mean like it depends on what that, like, if you just keep adding different mounts to the mount pack that has 5,000 different mounts in it, so your odds of getting whatever mount could be going down exponentially every time they add another group of mounts. I figure they got to be doing something weird or something different with it. That's the whole bronze, gold, silver thing that they're talking about doing, to where you have which will go up in price for each one, and whatever that exclusivity is, and however many people have it. And I don't know, that sounds like something that they're really going to have to keep up with, and they're going to have to pay a lot more attention to than they do now.
Yeah. What do you think, Paige?
This might be stupid, but the thing I'm looking forward to the most is probably buying an act dog from the cartel market. Even if we can't be friends, like if we don't know each other like that, that's fine. I just really want an act dog.
Yeah, I gotta agree there. I want an act dog.
It makes sense that it has no story. I mean, it's okay.
Right.
You're not the only one. I can't wait to see what else they're gonna throw in there.
I know.
Any speculations? Any ideas? I mean, what else is is it all going to be animals? I mean, I don't know. Are we going to be able to have little tanks with us and stuff?
Yeah, I want a little teeny tiny Titan 6.
I don't know, what if it was, I don't want to say a humanoid, but something that, like a sentient being that would speak to you or whatever. Maybe it's just like a deaf mute, that's his story. He just doesn't talk.
Little tiny Lobot.
That'd be cool.
Genius.
No, I want an attack bow wing.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool too. Yeah. All right, Chuck, you have anything else you want to add that you're excited about?
I mean, I'm definitely stoked about the reorganization of the whole thing, because I think that's probably what holds people back from spending a lot more coins on the cartel market, is because you can't find anything. Trying to go through and pull through all your collections and figure out who has what and which tune has got this and that, and it's such a pain in the butt to get to everything. It's been begging for a reorganization since the release of GSF. Once they added that in there, and then decorations on top of it, it just sort of, I just want to find that one toilet that goes in my stronghold, and that's, and I can't find it. I can't find it, and I think that it's been a long time coming. Now I just got to quit transferring all my tunes and save up some cartel coins to do something with them.
There you go. Well, Will, I know what you're gonna say, but go ahead.
What? Am I that predictable?
I just know you, buddy. We podcast together.
No, actually, well, the thing I'm most excited about is the searchability of it, because as an achievement whore that I am, the only time I ever buy anything in particular on the cartel market is when I notice I need it to fulfill a an achievement for it. So like the Cathar sword or whatnot, that I purposely search for that. And now I can just search it by name, and I don't have to go scrolling through everything.
I thought you were going to talk about collections.
Well, I do like the fact that you can unlock it from the buyer instead of unlocking it from each individual other tune on your legacy. That makes it, because I've never actually unlocked anything ever through collections, just because by the time I get to my other tunes, it's like I don't even think about it.
Right.
And two, you have to figure out like which tune you had it on, or like you have to remember if I don't even have it on this tune. I use a lot of emotes, and I like that kind of stuff. And then I'm like, oh, I'll go to use it, and then I don't have it, and then I have to go and unlock it. But then I have to find it. Was that under toys? Was that under emotes?
Yep.
I think that by having them, it's sortable, like filters and auto collapsed, so you're not having to scroll down like 12 different pages to get to like your color crystals or your armor or whatever, is going to make it so much better. I've been hoping for a change to that for searchability, and like when we have searchability in our inventories, then I'm going to be
my gosh,
happy camper.
Yeah.
That's going to be the best thing ever, right?
That's going to be the best thing ever. And I figure it's got to be coming. I mean, now that they're putting that functionality in. But
maybe
I
they'll
also
surprise us with it for Christmas.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? A Life Day present.
I don't like SWTOR surprises though. That never turns out how we want it to turn out.
But what about the Life Day packs? Those are a nice SWTOR surprise, right?
I think so.
Like not so much. Like the little baby Wampa Cubs, come on.
Oh yeah, those were.
Speaking of things that are worth like 10 bajillion credits, that will now be worth nothing when they re-release a pack. I got a whole like drawer of those.
But then we can all have them now, right?
Yeah. I guess it tells us if we are really like wanting to share, or if we're all a bunch of selfish market players. So I think I know the answer.
Well, I'm pretty stoked about the changes to hypercrates and stuff like that. I do like buying hypercrates, but for the most part, I'm excited about being able to buy packs in specific categories. I was telling Will the other day, like Jesse, I would like more emotes. I need more dances for our WoG raids, and I don't want, being able to just like buy a pack that's just gonna have emotes in it. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. So that's what I'm stoked about, to be honest with you.
I feel like you need a degree in international business, though, to understand the model that they're using for like breaking those packs out. There's colors, there's types, there's all these things. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm gonna have some sort of aneurysm before I finish reading this. Like the documents that you sent us to prepare for this podcast, I was like, I needed a Valium just to get through page 3.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here and a lot of changes, and once all these packs do hit the market, we're gonna have a lot of choices, almost as long as these notes here. So.
Are they gonna matter?
Our choices always matter. It's SWTOR.
Just checking.
All right. Anything else on Cartel Market, guys? What do you think?
I like the idea of the new super pack. And in between single pack and hypercrate, because for those of us that have been forced to, change servers constantly, I'm never going to let you. You've made me go to 4 different servers now.
You'll be fine.
And so yeah, I do like the idea of just being able to buy a little 5-pack one.
Yeah, something in between is nice.
I think we should call it a silver hypercrate, and the big one would be the gold hypercrate.
Titanium hypercrate.
In hypercrate, it's back to those words that have very little meaning.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we have an ultra crate?
An ultra crate.
Ultra gold
Like an Uber crate.
Just vaguely related to this, what do we think about the changes to the reputation vendors, where they're going to be selling items from the previous events, such as the original Rakul event from that was way back at the beginning of the game, and the Chevan event, the Grand Acquisition Race, previously completely unavailable unless you actually played through those events. Now you can get pretty much anything. What do we think?
Mixed feelings. Right? Mixed feelings because you did those events and you were there on Tatooine when that, Rakul thing happened, and now somebody else gets to be containment officer too.
Yeah, and I like to think we were part of that event, especially since they've said it's never coming back. I mean, that was a special time to be a SWTOR player, honestly.
It was.
And that stuff coming back. I know I'm missing a couple pieces from the containment gear, but mixed feelings. I agree.
I like it. I don't know. I've never had that thing where because I like something, I don't want other people to have it.
Yeah.
And
there's a nice person here after all.
I looked at that and I go, I think I am missing one piece on one character that was playing during that time, and I like that I have that as an option, even though they look like they would be kind of a pain to get because this many bounty contracts and that many blah 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 blah. But yeah, and I want to get the high Roddy scraper because it scrapes along the ground.
Pretty fun.
Well, I mean, and like I said it before, like I kind of stick it in that extract it from that and make it a point that it is. If you're putting things back in the game that were exclusive to a certain period of time, that means that everything going forward is never going to be exclusive. So if you say that you got to be subscribed by this point, or you got to do this, and it's the only time you can get it, we know that maybe 6 months from now that's not going to be true. So
yeah, it does. It does break down some trust. You're saying
exactly. So I mean, going forward, it makes it so that anytime you force people to, or try to force people to play an event for a certain time period, you're not going to be able to have that card to play because you've just shown that even years later you're going to throw this stuff back out there, whether you thought it was exclusive or not. And I mean, I'm the same way. I don't care if anybody else has everything or whatever, and,
right.
and I don't buy a whole lot of rep stuff. But it just, to me, it's sort of a signal that you're going to be able to get all this stuff going forward.
You're really going to be excited then to know that the founder title is going to be available for sale on the cartel market soon. I'm kidding.
That was brutal.
Oh.
All right, guys. So, shall we jump to the next one?
Jump.
We were, Tio, were we doing combat changes first? Was that what we decided?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I messed up the document for a second. All right, so we're going to do combat changes in Fallen Empire. And there's a lot. And there's a hot button topic kind of in here as well, I believe. Or is that under World?
No, it's here.
Kind of, yeah. So, all right, so let's start with you, Tio. What do you think? Combat changes.
Well, talk about the stat simplification. The big change would be all of our primary stats being changed to Mastery, or as we thought they were going to call it, Win, whatever the stat's called. It really doesn't matter. They also are merging Surge and Crit. So in terms of the theory crafting, it's a little bit of a simplification, but kind of not really. So it's just the big aspect of it that is fantastic is that because the primary stats are changing the Mastery, all of the gear that used to be kind of disparate because it had the different primary stats is now effectively shareable. And so there's now a much smaller gear set which can be used by everyone. And that's just great. It certainly makes itemization going forward easier for the developers, which means anything easier for the developers means more content for us, since they're not working on the other stuff, so to speak. So yeah,
it'll also make drops and flashpoints and stuff like that matter a little bit more, considering everybody will be able to use it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so companion changes. Just mention that it's been covered before, but I think they're fantastic. Basically, I like the idea of having any companion out at any time. I don't have to worry about gearing them. I don't have to worry about which one's the healer, like on my Jedi Knights. I don't want to be stuck with Doc all the time. You just have whatever, have them in the appropriate role. It's all great. And I don't have to use Treek anymore. I'm so sick of Treek. So,
Fantastic. That's why I like Treek. I just haven't used them on every tune, and then transferring I was transferring the legacy gear to that tune, and it was just getting on my nerves. And there's a lot of really cool companions in this game, and it'd be nice to be able to use them whenever I want. And this allows us to do that, and I'm
it's okay.
stoked about it.
From now to Christmas, all we're going to be seeing is Nico's running around.
No, Act Dogs.
Act Dogs.
Yeah.
All right, so lastly, I just wanted to touch on the polarizing topic, level sync. Level sync.
Let's get into that.
So, yeah, so I love the idea. So I'm one of those who actually likes it. It means no matter where I go, no matter what level I am, go back to any planet I've been to before, the content will be challenging, reasonably challenging.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically more realistic and immersive, is how I'm thinking of it. It means I can actually.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it means you can go back and do older heroics. You can do the exploration missions. You can play with your friends no matter what level they are, and it's actually meaningful. You will get rewards that matter. You will get XP for your level. So it's just fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
The Great Quest, isn't it?
I'm excited for kind of a selfish reason, is because we're doing WOG, but everything's going to be re-leveled up to 65 after 4.0. And so what are we ops noobs going to be doing? Well, we can team up and go run planetary heroics, or some now that all the flashpoints are tactical, do that, and so it gives us more content that we could do for us group noobs.
Well, and after last night, I mean, we're not ready for cutting edge content. I'll tell you that.
No, that was an experience.
Well, I think it is true though that like for all groups, it's really, I think it supports group play in a new way, because we are able to group with our friends no matter what level they're at and do things and have them be relevant to us and fun still for us. Like it takes away, it's so boring to go and either be on either end. Either you're the person getting helped or you're the person helping, and you're just like, one-shotting everything, and there's no fun to that for me. So I think that making it relevant and fun for people to play together will help revive group play and make it more fun for people to do stuff together. And I think as a person whose primary reason to play this game is to play with my guild and my peeps, I think that this is essential in a time when they're focusing on single player story for the Fallen Empire piece.
I feel a little differently. My reason for playing this game is to hang out with Fred, and because I like Star Wars. So for me, I'd really love to be able to toggle the option off, because sometimes, if I'm going to a lower planet to help him out, I don't want to be there. So it's like I want to kill everything really, really fast, but it's not going to be possible if I have to actually try. I'm like,
See, I'm with you. I agree. I agree. There should be a way to turn it on and off. Like, I think doing the heroic missions and putting those on level and doing the sync for the heroic so that you can get some value out of it, and there's some daily value out of it, there's some weekly value out of it. That makes total sense, because now you're just reviving that content and making something that you can do that's repeatable, and that's actually kind of a cool thing. And they've expanded this sort of with no new end game content coming. This sort of makes it go. You can go back and do some other stuff again, which is kind of cool. But if I want to go hunt datacrons, I want to be able to run through and smash all the mobs with one-shots and not have to worry about it. Now, if I want to group up with somebody and want to be on their level, I should be able to choose to do that as well. Mm-hmm. So being able to turn it on and off to me would be the way to do it, and make it so that I could choose which way I wanted to play that in the old style, just kind of like they do with the 12 XP.
And there are a lot of MMOs that do that, and I played EverQuest 2 back in the day, and really it was a mentor system. And the halfway point to what we're all saying would be, if I want to go and group up with people, I can mentor that person that levels me down. And then if they want to do the heroic thing and make the levels sync in the heroic areas or the instance areas, they could easily do that. If they decide to just keep it on all the time, I mean, that's one way to do it, but I think they could go the route of other MMOs and just have it to where it's mentor or instance areas or heroic areas, and just have it turned on then. So.
I mean, we'll have to play through it first, but I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. I think we're going to find that with zero cooldown quick travel, with our fast mounts, we're not losing any of our cooldowns or any of your gap closers or ways to run fast. I think you're still going to be able to do your datacrons and just run through the mobs. Yes, they may aggro, but you'll just run past them and they'll de-aggro as you get far enough away. I think it's going to turn it. I think the content already is easy enough that it's not going to be tedious to go through these mobs at level. So I started out not being pro on this level sync, but the more I thought about it, I'm a lot more behind it now.
Anybody else on level sync since we're here?
The one thing I like about it too is when, because there's a whole bunch of us that skip bonus quests, bonus planetary quests because we just want to get onto the next planet. By the time we go back, they're grayed out and they're not worth anything, and so you're going through all this tedium and you're not getting anything out of it except for 5 creds or something. And this way, it's going to make that more worth it to go back to Alderaan and get that bonus done.
Yeah, but then I have to work for it a little harder. So, is it really? Is it really worth it then at that point? Because it takes a lot more time. It's like, well, I can see just kind of a handoff, but I can kind of see this one both ways. Honestly, I see the value in both sides of it, but I don't know. That's why I think a toggle switch would be the way to go.
I agree. I do see both sides of it, but I'm a big "don't tell me what to do" fan. So
yeah.
If I want to kill things, let me kill things.
Step off.
If I want to group, that's fine. Just don't make me do it.
That's awesome. All right, so Jesse, what do you think? I think it's your turn in combat changes. Anything else you want to throw out there?
Well, we kind of touched on the things that stood out to me the most. As far as that there were like 6 different things within there, and like the simplifying stats, like that's probably good for somebody like me who's super really, really casual and never quite understood how they work to begin with. I just listened to Ufalong talk and I scratch my head and go, yeah, that sounds like that's probably right. So this is probably good for me. The other thing that I thought was, that I enjoy the temporary ability bars that are going to be popping up, so we're not taking up hotbar room for stuff that we don't necessarily use all the time, and that heroic moment bar they talked about in the stream too, where that's going to pop up and we get to use our heroic legacy skills like twice, and so that's part of the combat stuff. And then some sort of streamlining with the upgraded ability replacements. When something replaces another ability, it's essentially just an upgrade. You don't have to have that on your bar anymore, confusing you, or if you're like me, just derping and hitting that one and not knowing you're really meant to be using the new one. So, and then of course the companion things that Tio talked about, and being able to have who you want to play with is so exciting for me as somebody who enjoys the companion stories and being with a particular, a companion. Like I love to play with, a certain companion on each of my characters. But, you're right. Like a lot of times it's Treek, and I'm not going to say that that's my favorite companion, so I don't have to play with them so much anymore, or her.
Yeah, I'm with you
down on Treek, man.
I know, this is like too much Treek hate.
Good thing I didn't bring her with me. Damn.
Why you gotta be bagging on the Ewok, man? Come on.
You'd be all sad right now.
Jess just wants to run with Corso all the time.
Iziki.
Yep.
So we've kind of covered most of the things in this. Anybody else want to throw anything out there? Honestly, I'm pretty stoked about the temporary ability bars because I have everything on a hotbar and keybound and all that stuff, and if I can just get some of that stuff off of there, especially with the random mounts and random pet buttons and stuff like that, I'm pumped about that. And the temporary ability bars are just, I don't know. I think they can do some pretty cool stuff with that. I'm back. All right. Anybody else? Or should we move on? I'll take your silences. Move on.
Silence is permission.
Yeah.
I could go in about. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
What were you saying, Chuck?
No, I could go in about how I'm still pissed off about my sniper not getting the right changes, but I don't really want to get into that. So. What? I get to roll twice? Oh, exciting! Oh, great stat. Thank you for the new ability. That's cool.
There were some pretty cool abilities added, though.
For everybody
we'll
else.
See how they play out. I'm sorry you didn't get what you wanted, though.
It's all good. It's actually not that bad. Most of these changes are actually, for the most part, pretty good. So I'm interested to see how it's going to play out and how a lot of people are going to react to it. Really, with the simplification of stats, that always seems to make people scared, right? When you're getting rid of surge and getting rid of some stuff, I think that makes people freak out. But I'm really happy about the biggest one is the accuracy change. That's going to affect me the most. That's like such a big deal. Being able to lower down the threshold for the accuracy, that's going to make a big change for my main tune.
Good point.
Yeah.
But
all right, guys. Core world changes. So what do we have in here? We've covered some of this, haven't we?
I don't think we've touched on the exploration missions.
No, we haven't. Let's start there. What do you guys think? Who's first? Anybody can go at this point. I don't mind keeping it loose.
I'll do it.
Let's start with Paige. Go for it.
Too many jokes going through my mind.
Oh, shut your face. All right. So.
That's the proper response, by the way, Paige.
I don't know. Like, am I allowed to say bad words?
No, but you can say that to him. That's fine. I'll cut it out later.
Oh, son of a... No,
why would you cut it out? No. About the exploration missions, though, like, I see that when you're... I guess if you either make a new character or just signing it after the expansion releases, that the exploration missions are toggled off, and you have to turn them on, like, in the map screen. I think for people who might be new, that might not be a good thing, because they're going to be missing out on a lot of things they might not know is available to them. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. I highlighted that too.
You're missing a lot. That's a lot of information out there, and a lot of good information out there, and it's a lot of fun to do all that extra stuff. At least to me.
And there's some pretty cool quests out there. I mean, some of them are go kill a thing and come back, but I mean, there's some pretty cool little storylines, and it's all voice acted, and I mean, there's a lot of work put into those missions.
Exactly.
If I have to go run that circus storyline on Tatooine again, though.
That's good.
Bet you will. That's a primary planetary arc. So you will have to do
that. You will. But you may not have to kill 1,000 of those Killiks on Tatooine.
There you go.
There we go.
Anybody else on exploration missions? I mean, I don't know. I like being able to turn them off because, like I said, for me, I'm kind of tired of doing them, but I've done them so many times. But you're right. The new players, if that doesn't, I'm wondering I imagine it'll start by not being toggled off, right? For new players, I have to imagine.
No, it's by default. It says it's toggled off.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's as if they're not there.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
they'll never know that they were there. We only are going to know. It's going to be like Legends, you know, like the Legends of the really cool stories you could do on Balmora with the guy who kills his wife and all that. I mean, that's great story content. And
you're right. I actually read that wrong. It said can be toggled on. So I think for new players that should be toggled on by default. But
at the same time though, you're also talking about if you're a new player that's jumping into the game right now, are you going to be an instant 60? Is it going to even be part of what you're going to do or not? And I mean, for a lot of people, they may just skip over a lot of that beginning content anyway. So I mean, streamlining it down. I mean, they're going to be missing a lot of stuff, but then hopefully you get some achievement hoarders that are going to go back and go, what am I missing? And those are the people that will really get something out of that content anyway. The other people could probably care less. About half the stuff that they're going to see. So the ones that really want to seek it out and find it, they're going to be able to get it. And I still think that at least they're keeping that stuff around and not eliminating it from the game. Because there's the possibility that a lot of those could just go away. And it's cool that they're at least keeping it around with a checkbox to be able to go back and do it if you want to. Because I mean, it could be like, well, sorry, can't go back. Do any of these, all these cool little storylines, but I think a lot of people are going to be able to look at their achievements and look at their lore and look at their stuff that they're missing and go back and fill in those gaps that way.
And I think about when I was leveling my first character, I never really knew which was my class quest and which was the planet quest and which were the side quests that I didn't. And so I would like get them all at the same time, and then I'd be getting like a piece of this story and a piece of that story and a piece of this story, and I mean, I guess you could make an argument for having it turned off in the beginning just for clarity's sake, but I'm excited about this change in general because now for leveling, this together with Level Sync, I can see that I can go into a quest hub. Instead of picking up all the quests, I'm just doing class quest and planet arc, so I'll get these and these, and I'll ignore exploration until later, until the spirit moves me, right? And then when I do come back eventually, if I get that completionist bug, then I can come back, and because of level sync, I can continue to get XP. I can maybe even get some rewards and some credits that might come in handy, and I don't have to wait until I'm 65 to do it. I can do it when I'm like 2 planets down the road, maybe, or whatever. So I do feel like it gives back the choice.
Yeah,
that's
which is why I like the new iconography.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm annoyed because You were already there. Like, why would you go back?
I would go back because I didn't want to do it when I was leveling, because I didn't want to do gray quests, and I didn't want to. I mean, I realize you're not going to be gray now, but I wanted to continue in my class story, whatever. But I have enough of a completionist streak that whenever I left a planet and hadn't done all the quests, I felt like bad.
Right, and are they archiving all of those achievements so that you can still see them, the ones for doing all the quest lines and stuff, or
they wouldn't be archived; they'd be out there in the open. So
yeah,
because they're perfectly accessible and doable.
Yeah. So for the completionist folks, I mean, definitely that's something they could do is go back at some point, and not having it grayed out is, I think, important. So
personally, I would.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. Personally, I would actually like I love the change of the icons, so you can actually see the ones that matter. Having them exploration missions visible by default, why not? And just tell people, look, if you want to level, just do the purple ones, ignore the rest. But if you are curious and you do want to do the other content, then you can, and it's just there and visible, rather than sort of hiding it by default.
A question popped into my head as we were talking about this when Chuck brought up new players. Do you think it's going to be a very popular choice to go instant 60? Or do you think that's just going to be for people who never played MMOs? Or, I mean, I imagine as an MMO player, and I've played other MMOs, when I start an MMO, there's something about starting at level 1, for me. But I don't know, what do you guys think? New players coming in just start at 60 and go, or what?
Depends how much they charge for it.
Yeah.
On the first free one.
Yeah.
True.
So they'll do the 60 first, you said?
Well, you get a free one, so people would certainly do that.
Right.
Start on a new server, something like that. But if it costs a lot, like equivalent of $20 or something, how many people are really going to do that?
Yeah. Well, and I think just because there's going to be a pay difference, there's going to be a price for it eventually. I think people will automatically do that first one right off the bat. I think that's going to be the first thing they do because there's got to be value in it. Why am I not doing this? I got to do it. So I think there's got to be something, or we're going to get a lot of people that are instant 60s right off the bat. But is it gonna last if it's something you got to buy or spend your cartel coins on? I don't know.
All right.
I know I'm going to try it and see what happens.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to do it. Like I said, there's a Merc I'm done leveling right now, and I'm going to start an instant 60 Merc just to see how that playstyle is like and level him, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've been playing the game for 4 years, too, so.
I spectated through most of the commando story and was bored to tears, so I think I'm just going to blow right through that one and not worry about it.
Just skip over that one. All right, guys. So, have we covered everything here in this section? Anybody else want to throw anything out there?
I do like the changes to heroics. I mean, it's glorious. The idea of being able to have this, once you're 60 or 65, have this vast array of heroics on all the planets. You can actually go to, do with your friends, do it alone, because they're all 2+ now. The lower level ones, even with level sync, you should be able to blow through by yourself. So many, and they all will give you XP if you're not yet 65. And they'll all give level-appropriate rewards.
And you can travel there instantly.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is amazing quality of life. Yes. Yeah.
I like the terminal on Fleet as opposed to the way GSI was, where you had to go to the planet, get the individual terminals, and
Yes.
And I agree, because honestly, I've only done a handful of heroics really on the planets, and I'd love to check some of them out. So why not get something for it?
Exactly.
All right. Let's get to the last section here, crafting. There's been a lot of changes in crafting as well. So I think overall they're trying to streamline it a bit. They're collapsing the tiers and that kind of thing. So let's start with Jesse. Are you much of a crafter?
That's so funny that you picked me, because this is one area of the game, I think you know this, that I absolutely don't play.
That was fun then. I put you at the top of the list on purpose then.
You just get my my derping out of the way. I don't have much to say about this. I mean, I read it when it came out, of course, and we covered it a tiny bit on our show, but that was more JT, who was able to speak with any intelligence on it whatsoever. The thing that I noticed, it seemed like quality of life, where like not having to go to your trainer anymore. It seemed like they did some good, possibly some good changes to reverse engineering. Again, not something I'm doing much of, but it seems like they improved your chances, and you kind of know what you're getting back more if you do get something back. And I do like the idea of the they call it in the article node harvesting, which is not something you ever hear anybody say in SWTOR, but you know, like I guess that's just the thing that they say so that they don't have to go through each one individually. But we all know what that means, of course. Even I know what that means, and that you can do it on any planet at any level, and it's really just gonna, how much you get back is going to be dependent on your level, and you're going to gain level and like crafting XP or whatever they call it from doing it, no matter where you are. That sounds fantastic to me, because I'm always like, you lack sufficient level to
right.
that. And I'm always
message.
dejected and depressed, like in every flashpoint, like I can't pick anything up. So I might actually encourage somebody like me to not feel locked out of crafting. So maybe it's a good thing. But I know there's a lot of negative stuff about it too, so I'll turn it over to you, more expert people, on that.
I like one thing I like about it is the opposite. Instead of being low level to being able to, or low craft level and being, or crucial level and being able to get it on a higher planet. Sometimes there's things that you want to craft, you need a certain amount of things, and so you've got to go farm things or else buy a stack of it on the GTN. Well, some of us don't like just buying the stuff. We like getting it on our own, but you'd
because
have to.
we're cheap.
Yeah.
That's the person with 18,000 cartel coins. But no, like going to Drummond Cost and just farming all the bio there, but it takes forever because you only get 1 or 2 per thing. But if you go back at level 35 or whatever and you go there, you're going to be getting so much more.
Yeah, things like alien bacteria that seemed to be so hard to find. Yeah. You go to Quest, if you got 10 or 12 of them from a node, that would be brilliant.
Yes.
I agree.
So it is curious. You got to wonder what it's going to do to the price if the high levels can get masses of it. Any mats on the lower level planets will presumably be massively devalued.
Well, and then the people who don't want to go farm stuff can get it for super cheap. So.
Well, I mean, this if nothing else, this is going to be like a major upheaval to the GTN and what's going to happen. I mean, like this, I'm not personally a crafter. Like I don't do much of it. Mine is all this. Well, I got the stuff to click on it, and hopefully I can make something. But I don't really do much of it. But we've got people in our guild that are amazing at it, and this stuff is freaking people out because it's really going to change the way that the GTN works and how all this stuff is going to, and it'll all be fine. It's all going to play out fine, but it's going to take a while to kind of level it all out when you start to get rid of some of these these older mats, which finally get to clear some of that crap out of my cargo hold. Get rid of some of this stuff that's not going to matter anymore, and then also be able to kind of start crafting stuff that you might be able to use, once or twice, or might be able to sell, because now that your crafted armor is going to be adaptive instead of just whatever heavy or medium or whatever. It's gonna change the way people search for it on the GTN. There's gonna be a lot of different things that are happening with it, and I don't think there's no amount of notes that they can put out that's going to describe exactly how that's going to change everything. And it's probably half of the stuff that we see in front of us is going to be changed after the first week anyway, because they're going to go, oh no, the GTN's broken, oh no. So it's there are going to be people that are running around in circles with their hair on fire. But I'm glad they're at least addressing some of this stuff, because boy, crafters needed to get a little bit of love in some way.
Also, it's nice that they're going to be able to craft intro level obscure.
Yeah. Finally, crafting something that matters.
Exactly.
And I think it's good that they say it's going to be a little bit better than comm gear, but it's not going to be as good as token gear. I think that's a perfect spot for crafting. Exactly. And I think we might change how we view these crafting changes when we see how the whole thing works together, because what they've told us is basically what they're removing, what they're adding, and what they're moving. But we haven't seen the whole picture of how it's all going to mesh together and how it's going to work, and there might be little changes that we don't know about. And it's too soon to, unsub and all that stuff because your favorite thing is getting moved away from your favorite character. I just think that it might work. It might not, but it might work.
Well, the first freak out was, about augments, right? Because the thing that you sell the most of are like augments and augment kits, or they're the guaranteed sell, the stuff that everybody wants to buy. And they're changing the stat balance, and the way that the stats are going to balance out with mastery, you're not going to be able to sell all of these 8 different sort of augments that are primary stat. Well, wait a minute, you're still going to be able to sell the same amount, but it's going to be mastery instead.
It's going to be so much easier to make and so much easier to market.
Exactly, and it'll all wind up balancing itself out in the end. But the growing pains are going to be really interesting toward the back half of the year to see how this all plays out. And I know there's a lot of people that are really invested in it. So it's got the potential of being a real sticky widget on the forums for sure.
I do still need to raise stat caps.
Yeah. All caps, you've broke everything. Unsub, everything sucks.
What do you guys think of they changed a bunch of the what certain I guess professions can craft? Do you think that's a path to the balancing act that they should have done?
Yes, it's probably a shame if you sort of focused on one thing and you've only got that one profession or 2 professions. But if you've got them all, then, in which most people probably do by now, then it probably doesn't matter. They just balance it around. So it all seems pretty solid from what we're reading.
Right.
Don't you get all your crafting on your instant level 60? Don't you get like a max crafting or something?
Yeah.
Yes. Now that actually ticks me off. That's the thing that ticks me off because that's like so cop out to everything else. Like you should be able to. You got to pay for it. I think you should have to pay for it or something.
Because that's lots of work.
It's a ton of work.
Oh my! I'm with you, man. Like, there's a couple of tunes that I'm doing the same thing. Like I just gave up on leveling up their professions, But if I turn around, start an instant 60, then I get them all. Without doing the work.
Right. They're not stupid. Look at all that money they're going to make because everybody's going to buy all of the different professions because I guess it's tied to the class for now or something.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And you can't choose them. Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It seems.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, I agree. And it seems like it's difficult to make money. I think off of selling those 60s, if you ask me. But what do I know?
The low point for me is the conquest thing. I have done a lot of conquest, and I'm not done being burned out from that. I don't want to be doing conquest in order to get crafting mats.
Not being done, burned out. Give me more.
If we're doing the story mode raids, then I'm pretty sure we can just skip this. So it's really for your alts or whatever, or for other people who just don't do story mode.
Right. Oops. What else do we have here? Something I was just going to bring up, and now I just lost it. Anybody else want to throw anything out there? Crafting people?
Just that you can think of it as a massive simplification and just a kind of big reset. The fact we're getting nothing new is a little bit disturbing. I mean, I would have liked to see another, extra 50 points of crafting, new tier of mats and stuff, but it is good that resetting everything. But you could actually characterize everything that they're doing now as a complete reset of the game, relaunching for all the new players for the new movie. Just think of it like that.
I do like that they're releasing the Devoted Allies armor to Legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is nice.
Yes, agreed. That's cute. So, well, I guess we've all done that. That's the stuff you get on Yavin 4 for your companions. Yeah. Having that all available to our characters.
In my Legacy hold. So that'd be nice to move it around.
That is a nice change.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we have one more little topic here, unless somebody has something else with crafting. We're gonna move on. One more thing here. Companion affection stuff. So what are they doing? So basically,
what are they doing?
I really wanted to. I wanted to throw this out at you guys because I think this is really interesting. Will and I had a conversation about it the other day, and he's an achievement guy, and he wasn't very excited about this. Me, on the other hand, I haven't done all of my, I haven't maxed my affection on everybody. I haven't done all the class stories for everybody on every tune. It's just not something I do. So they're getting rid of all of that, though. What do you think?
Oh, well. The fact they're getting rid of them and not archiving them means I don't have to do them before the thing launches.
Right. Right.
That's how I feel.
You can take that off my list of things to do for sure.
One last thing on my list I'm not going to do.
Yeah, one more thing I won't have time to get to before
Exactly.
Well,
The
and they're taking
implication-
away your achievement points from them.
Though they're redistributing them to the kill achievements, so
Which
you
I
can
actually
get them
like
back.
those, and because you can play with any companion and with the level sync, it actually might be entertaining to do it this way.
And
I
if
like
you
that
do
there's
a
no
flash-
reason. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
ahead,
Tio.
No, go Sima.
I like that there's no reason to like at this last minute. When I first started to read it, I thought, oh no, now I've got to go finish everything. And then I got to the end, and I'm like, no, I don't. I'm going to do nothing, which
Yes.
I like.
Yes. And just a tip that a listener sent us: if you do Color Code War games, you know the turret things, and there's 2 rounds of the turrets with your companion, you can actually get those kill achievements really quickly because they all count, all the bugs that you shoot with the turrets.
I heard you guys talking about that the other week, and I'm going to do that. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I think it's the only Flashpoint I've never completed.
I noticed they're not leveling that one up to 65.
Right. Isn't that the only one?
The only thing wrong with it is the fact that you kind of have to be a bit coordinated to get through the part that's after the turrets with the various force doors and stuff,
Yeah.
which is a bit of coordination. But
Coordination. Tough.
And then
It's
there
not
was
cool,
the first
Flashpoint.
year that I played the game that I didn't understand the mechanic of getting onto the thing. There was that too.
turrets, yeah.
That was a big learning curve for a new MMO player who didn't realize that there could be different mechanics in the game. I think it's good that they're putting it with the kill achievements too, and they're pairing that with the use any companion you want philosophy for different roles, so that you can really get those. If you're a healer, you can take your healing companion because he's not a healing companion anymore. All of a sudden, he's whatever you want.
He can be your boyfriend now.
Oh, good. Because I've always wanted to go out with Gus Tuno. I've had my eye on him for a long time.
That cracks me up. I like that guy.
That's not much of an achievement, I know that for sure.
All right. One more thing. Sorry, go ahead, Tia. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, the implication of this also is that with the change from affection to influence, maybe we can actually get a whole lot more influence. They're no longer maxed anymore. That could be one of the reasons for taking them away from these characters. So we've got a whole lot of more alliance building. They still haven't explained what the hell an alliance is, but there's just a whole lot more scope for stuff here. It all sounds a lot more complicated than just simple affection.
Yeah,
So-
I'm glad you said that, because that was my segue. I was going to ask you, what do we have left that they haven't blogged about? One is alliances, and I was going to ask you guys just off the top of your heads, what do you guys think that's going to look like? Or do we kind of know?
We don't know. It's all pretty much a blank slate at this point. Just the fact that there's a vast range of apparently companions that you can bring into your alliance, not just the ones tied to your class story. And that'll just turn up in the Knights of the Fallen Empire story, so you could end up with all kinds of companions, and obviously they've told us you can kill companions, Sketch, and it won't matter. So it just has a whole lot more scope for stuff.
I got a question.
Go.
Is everybody gonna kill Quinn?
Well, after what he did,
And maybe he's going to try to redeem himself in Fallen Empire. Maybe he'll just turn over a new leaf.
Yeah.
Never give up on
Yeah.
people.
He'll be a better man.
Don't offer second chances.
Any other predictions or about what we have left to learn about with Fallen Empire outside of alliances, or what you think alliances are going to be? I mean, I think I'm excited about it because I like having a lot of companions. In BioWare games, you can kind of have this group of companions you have kind of hanging out, waiting for you to bring them out to, hang out with, I guess is the best way to say it. So,
It's kind of like real life for you, right, Marshall?
it's like real life. I just keep my friends to the side, and then I just tag them in and out, right?
I hate you so much.
I know. It wouldn't be a podcast if you didn't say that, my friend. So there we are. All right, anybody else? So anything out there? What do we have left to learn, or what else do we need to know before Fallen Empire?
I'm still waiting for them to bring back Sergeant Jackson as a companion.
Yeah, everybody know who that is?
I have no idea.
It's on the Trooper story. It's somebody that you meet on Coruscant, and then you do meet her, in one go.
Oh, Jackson!
Oh,
Oh my God! Of
There
course.
a couple more times, yeah. And
Yes.
I
Oh
know
my
a lot of
gosh.
guys are really interested in having that expanded a little bit more.
She's awesome.
They just left it hanging, didn't they?
But that's one of my least favorite decisions that you have to make in SWTOR, is when you're deciding about her. I'm not going to say anymore.
Yeah, we don't have to spoil it, but yeah, that's a good point, dude.
Yeah, good point.
All right. Well, I'll leave the awkward silence for a second.
Well, you could always just ask us, how are we all feeling about Knights of the Fallen Empire?
How are you feeling?
It's almost here.
Let's start with Tio. Tio, how are you feeling about all we've learned about Fallen Empire?
Don't know. I'm very much looking forward to it. I mean, there was the kind of disappointment that a lot of us who do the Raiders, that we weren't getting new ops with this expansion, but there's so much other stuff, and it's so clearly aimed as a relaunch of the game. The fact they're bringing all the operations back and they're all going to be relevant again, I think it's fantastic. For new players coming in, it's going to be amazing, and I have faith in BioWare that those MMO bits are going to come. They're going to bring in new war zones, they will bring in new operations, it'll all come, but for 4.0, this is the relaunch, the new beginning, the new dawn for for SWTOR. So I'm looking forward to it, and what will come beyond it.
Jesse, how are you feeling?
Oh, I thought we'd let somebody negative go next, so we could split them up, and then I could come in at the end and just be like, "Oh my God, Tio, you're so right," because it's really exciting stuff. It's I don't know. I know that there's some things here and there that aren't how everybody wants them to be, and I very much sympathize with the segment of the community that's really into going after those new operations, those new mechanics, those new bosses, new titles, new achievements, new armors, new levels, new everything. But I agree that that's going to come, and that they're building a really solid foundation for the SWTOR of the future, and they're going to keep it viable and alive and vibrant for us. And there's so many things for the type of player that I am that are exciting that I can't help but be enthusiastic about it.
Paige?
Do I need to be negative, or can I?
You can do whatever you want. We're not going to tell you what to do.
I love that you're not going to tell me how to feel. Yay. Okay. So I don't know if anyone listens to Star Wars Beyond. Probably not. But
I do.
I do throw a lot of shade on there. I do trash talk BioWare a lot because they really pissed me off a lot. But over the past few months, they've really impressed me. And for me to say somebody's doing a good job, they are, because I don't give out praise. So I'm really excited for this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for veteran players and for new players, and I think Tio's right about it being like a relaunch.
Chuck?
Elder Scrolls, here I come. I'm done with this stupid game. I'm so tired of this crap. They don't bother. I know. It's really. It's. I agree with everybody. We have yet to see all the layers of the onion, obviously, and see how this thing is going to pan out. There's a lot of different things that are going to happen. The story, I'm obviously interested in. I don't really feel that bad for the in-game players because they're better than I am, so they can suck it. I think everybody's going to wind up with something at some point. It's only in BioWare and SWTOR's benefit to keep more content coming, to keep more stuff going, and to be able to address all of this stuff at once, it's just a massive undertaking. So, we have to be patient as community members, and we have to be patient to see what's going to happen. But really, I think it's going to be nothing but good, and hopefully bring in some new blood and some more new players, and we're going to get to kill some really bad people in PvP soon enough. So I think it's going to be awesome.
Seema, what do you think?
Well, I started out one of those people that was really depressed about it in the beginning, but in this long ramp-up time, I've gotten slowly more and more excited about it. And now with this burst of info out, I have all these questions, so that's kind of pulling me forward too. I want to see how all this stuff works together. So I am looking forward to it. I'm primarily an in-game player, though. Not that I'm good at it, but that's what I primarily spend my time doing. And so I'm really curious to see how having all the operations available to us. I see the possibility that it might revitalize. Even though they're the same operations that we've done all this time, maybe having them all available at once in a different group finder every day and different sets of rewards, and maybe more, it'll be more rewarding / easy to pug things, so you might meet new people, and I can see it might be really good. So at this point, I'm really super looking forward to it.
Well, what do you think, buddy?
Hang on a second. I got to re-download Candy Crush here. No, I'm excited. The only thing I'm upset about is that it's not getting released this week when we have it off from school.
Yeah,
and it's not until next week. But I am thoroughly excited about it.
Yeah, same here. I agree with everything you guys said. I'm a casual player. I haven't been logging in as much as I normally do, and I'm excited to log in more often and do more things. I want to get back into crafting. I want to check out, what the companion system's about. I want to see some of those heroics. So there's a lot with this that I'm excited about, and it's going to get me to log in more often than just on our WOG nights. So that's where I'm at.
I'm going to just be logging in more often just to see the pretty new launcher.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
And the Act Dog.
And the
And the Act Dog. The Attack Act Dog.
The Attack Act Dog. All right, guys. So I think we're going to call that a show here. So let's go around the horn and tell people where they can find all of your podcasts. And we'll start with, well, Jesse, you're at the top of the list. Are you going to be upset at me at this time?
No, as long as you don't ask me about crafting.
Okay.
I can definitely say my Twitter handle and stuff like that. I probably won't mess it up.
Go with that.
So I'm Jessie. I'm Stardust Legacy. You can find me on Twitter at Unholy Alliances. Our podcast is Passionately Casual Podcast, and we're a Guild and SWTOR podcast focused on healthy gaming. And our Twitter for that is at PC_podcast, and my website is unholyalliance.org, and you can find out all about the Guild and the stuff that we have going on, including our Extra Life charity event next month. Don't forget to sign up and play or donate money.
Cool. What about, go ahead, Paige. Where can people find you?
Well, I live in... No, I'm not going to tell anybody that. Okay. So, I am Paige. I'm from Star Wars Beyond. You can find us on Twitter at Star Wars Beyond. I am at, and I'm going to say this because no one knows how, Asaphiry. Asaphiry. Fred is at Sith Lord Corv. Lou is at GamerGuy11B. And Kalei is at Wild Piper. We also have a website. We're on iTunes. All that good stuff.
Awesome. Chuck?
It's me and Brian doing the Bad Feeling podcast. Brian does the old Twitter for us. It's at BadFeelingPDCST. You can find my personal one at Bearded Ape, which is exactly what I am. Facebook / Bad Feeling Podcast, and of course BadFeelingPodcast.com. That's where we get all of our stuff there as well.
Awesome. Tio?
You can hear Chill and myself on UtiniCast. My personal Twitter is at Jason Etheridge, which just happens to be my real name, and you can find our show at UtiniCast, and our website is utinicast.com.
Awesome. Seema?
You can find me at AIE Seema, and you can find Max at Max the Gray. Both of those are on Twitter, of course. And anything you want to know about SWTOR Escape Podcast, you can find at newoverlords.com.
All right. And we are Marshall and Will of The Usual Podcast. You can find us at theusualpodcast.com. I'm at Darth Pops on Twitter. Will is at I am Will Griggs. And we talk SWTOR, pop culture, and Star Wars in general. So check out all of us and all the things we do. Thanks again, guys, for being here. I really appreciate being able to do this. So thank you again. And I guess that's it. Thanks for tuning in to the Galactic Gamers Coalition number 10. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
See you guys.
everyone.
Bye, baby. Just in time,
yeah.
right, Tia?
Yeah. Cameo from my daughter. Yep.
You can come in, dear. And my wife was about to walk in too. Okay, so everybody just stop their recording.
Sure.
And I will stop the broadcast. Thank you, chat room people.
Yep, I'll stop the stream. Thank you all.